Right now, I don't have a particular topic in mind. I was I was scrolling through my list of ideas and stuff that I wrote down that I might want to talk about. But with all these videos, I always feel like if I don't feel like talking about a particular thing in that moment, that I'll give myself the freedom to not have to talk about it just because there seems to need to be a topic for the day. So I guess it kind of makes sense why I feel like this right now in this video. It's kind of a reflection of the way I've been feeling for the past few days. And for the past few days, I don't really feel like I have a particular purpose in mind. Like, I don't really feel like I want to do anything on my to-do list. And I don't mean this in I'm feeling lazy today. And I don't mean lazy in a negative way, but like I don't even mean it in a like a I feel lazy way. It's just it feels a bit like it doesn't really matter whether I do something or whether I don't. And hearing myself say this out loud, it sounds a bit like it's a bit hopeless or pointless, but I don't know, it's kind of like that Tumblr post where people are like, it's like two people saying the same thing. There is no meaning to life, or nothing really matters. And somebody can be like, nothing really matters, like a negative passive tone, and another person can be like, nothing really matters, which means like I can do anything, it doesn't really matter that I do or don't do the right thing, because in the end it doesn't matter, so I can do whatever I want to. And so when I say I've been feeling kind of not feeling like I want to do anything this last few days, I mean it in somewhat in between of those two. Like, I don't see it as a particularly good or bad thing necessarily. It's kind of just what it is in a moment. And it feels kind of weird as someone who much prefers, well, that's not true, but I think I am much more familiar with the feeling of having something to do, having something to work towards to. And it's not as familiar or comfortable for me to kind of not be doing anything. But one thing I've been thinking about recently is really the idea that like work and rest comes hand in hand. Good and bad comes hand in hand, and so does a lot of these other things that are kind of flip sides of each other, two sides of the same coin. And what I mean by that is rest doesn't feel very good for me when I've not done any work, and conversely, work doesn't feel very good when I've not had any rest. And I think this is probably the easiest one to understand just because it's the most relevant to day-to-day life. Like, it can even just be simple tasks that counts as work, like washing the dishes. So like doing some chores, after that the rest feels better than if I just rested without doing anything at all. And on the good and bad camp, I've been kind of thinking it's a bit in the mind or in the ego to be thinking, oh, I want to be a good person. And I don't mean that I want to be a bad person, but I think what is more insidious or potentially dangerous about just thinking that I want to be a good person and I am a good person is not acknowledging the parts of me that have tendencies or may do things in a way that may or may not have the intentions to, but may be interpreted, however, as bad by somebody else. And I think I've encountered this idea since some time back where people were like, you know, going around posting sort of a meme of like, oh yeah, I could be the villain in somebody else's story, no matter how much I think I'm a hero in mine. And this idea of being a villain or even being an anti-hero is not new to me, but I think due to the way we are socialized and brought up, it's still not common for people to be like, yeah, I want to embrace the bad parts of myself. But here's the thing, right? And I think I kind of talked about a similar idea in the video where I talked about how humans are complex. If we are good, then we also have bad parts. Like, you can't only have one side of the coin. And yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a conclusion with this. And with the kind of energy that I've been in lately, it's a bit difficult to really want to come to a conclusion. It seems enough to just not even think about the idea, but just like let these ideas float past. Yeah. So that's been where I've been lately. Like my mindset wise? No, that's not quite accurate. But yeah, that's kind of how the last few days has been. It's getting really hot right now. So sometimes when I encounter a discomfort like this, I'm like, it's typical and human to think, yeah, I don't really want to be in this discomfort, you know. But conversely, it's kind of like, would I really know what I like or what is good or what I prefer or what's comfortable if I've not had experiences like this right now where I'm under the sun and it's not particularly comfortable. But then without this, will I be able to really enjoy the exhilarating, chill, cool air when I go into an aircon room? Which, by the way, like, I mean, this thing aside, right? Going between hot and cold environments rapidly is probably not a good idea because it usually makes me sick, so might make you sick. But it's kind of like, if I don't know how uncomfortable this hot feeling is, or how uncomfortable a very cold winter is, then can I really appreciate how my somewhat temperature controlled, I don't use an aircon in my room, but the temperature doesn't change super a lot, like it's within a reasonable range. Can I then appreciate how, you know, comfortably reasonable the temperature in my room is? How there's shade, how there's wind, how there's a fan blowing. Can I really enjoy that if I've never known the opposite, the discomfort? And I don't know what the real answer is, or if there is even one answer necessarily, but that's what I've been trying to, well, not trying actively, but it's just like, you know, when I do come across discomfort, that's kind of where my mind goes to nowadays. And it's like, would I rather not be uncomfortable? I mean, yeah, some part of me is like, why make yourself suffer? Why be out here under the sun when you could be somewhere else cool, right? But the very fact that right now I'm heating up under the sun and feeling sweaty and a bit uncomfortable makes the fact that there is a slight breeze coming in from this side feel better. They don't cancel each other out to make me feel like I am comfortable necessarily, because I still feel the discomfort from the heat and the sun, but at the same time I get a bit of reprieve from the wind. Oh, the wind's stopped. So yeah, I guess it's not as simple as just like they cancel each other out or anything like that, but it's something interesting to think about. Anyway, I think there's only so much I can say about this knot thing. So I'm gonna end this video here now, and we'll see whether I make another one today, because that's what I've been trying to do recently. Trying to film at least more than one video every time I go out. For a few reasons. One being that if any particular one doesn't quite work when I go down, when I actually sit down on my computer to edit it, that I have spare, that I can decide like, yeah, maybe this isn't that great, let's not publish it. But also, like, realistically speaking, I do need to do that now because I'm gonna start work soon and I will have less time to make videos. But at the same time, I don't want to give up making videos altogether, so what's gonna happen is that videos are gonna come out slower so that I can kind of do them at about the same pace as I was without overextending myself. Well, I will still be overextending myself slightly because I'll have one less rest day than I had before now that I'm working, but it still works out to 5 work days and 2 off days, so maybe that will be okay. Yeah, I don't know. The fact that I'm willing to just take it as it comes is already a marked improvement from how I would have handled this last time. I think me from a few years back would have been more quick to put that burden on myself and be like, just because I'm starting a new job, a new full-time job, doesn't mean that I'm gonna stop making videos. And I guess that's what I have done the last time when I was making some videos on the other channel, and then I started a full-time job, and for a few months I tried my best not to change the publishing rate, but it was not very sustainable because I realistically had less time to make videos since I was already working a full-time job. So I'm gonna try to not do that this time. So I will slow down in the publishing of these videos. And because I have less days to do them, it means that when I do come out to film, I will try to film more than one video, so hopefully you don't get too sick of seeing me in the same outfit across a few videos. Anyway, I'll end this video here. I'll see you next time. Bye.